When I got to the New York City Department of Education in August of '08, one of the things that my boss said was very important to her, which therefore made it very important to me, was the fact that sustainability had not been supported or worked on in the division school facilities very much in the past. And what I was tasked with doing primarily was recycling. And I started a recycling group, a recycling committee, to achieve the goals that are set down under Law 19 in New York City. And based on that, I found we were getting a lot of questions back, not necessarily about recycling, but about energy conservation, greenhouse gas reduction, those other kinds of issues, all under the umbrella of sustainability. So I took that to Chancellor Klein, and with his support, changed the mandate of the group to a sustainability group in support of all of the educational programs in the schools. What we realized as schools is that we have a very unique opportunity. We're very uniquely positioned to be able to make an impact throughout the broader New York City community. We have 1.1 million students out there that walk through our doors every day, and if you want to make a difference in the city at large, there's no better way to get 1.1 annoying little people to go home and tell their parents how to get something done. So we partnered. Each school in New York City has a sustainability coordinator. Those coordinators are appointed by the principal staff. Before I got there, most of the time the principal appointed the custodian. The custodian has a role in the process, but certainly should not be the focus of the process. If you want to get something done in a school, it needs to have the principal's investment. So those sustainability coordinators we communicate with, they're in charge of all of the initiatives in their schools, whether it's running the recycling program, running an energy conservation program, whether it's tying those things to a civics class or a STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math class. All those things go through the sustainability coordinator, and it's focused on the division school facilities, which we're very proud of, that the technical group within the department are the ones that actually have curriculum associated with what they're doing. There's a lot of email communication back and forth. We have what the title is deputy directors that are all assigned to a school that manage the custodial and operations, maintenance operations in each one of our schools. And they interact with not just the principal, not just the custodian, but with the sustainability coordinator. They have building council meetings monthly, usually, that the principals run, and the sustainability coordinator and the deputy director and the custodian are all on that committee. So when there are issues, that's a forum for them to discuss it as well. New York City Department of Sanitation has excellent programs. You can access them online. Their Trash Masters program is their curriculum that is available to all New York City school kids. They have their Golden Apple Awards, which is a competition that they run every year where schools put together projects and submit them to sanitation, and then a group across the city rates them and they give out awards. So on the recycling side, sanitation usually takes the lead, but we're the people who funnel that information and act as the conduit of the information to get that done. What we're doing a lot of work with is on the energy conservation and energy management side. New York City Department of Education was the first city agency in New York City to benchmark all of its energy data in Portfolio Manager, the EPA Portfolio Manager system. And we take that information and give it out to anybody who asks for it, students, parents, principals, people in the community. If they want to know what the energy use is in their school, in their neighborhood, we give them access to that information. But teachers are now taking this information and incorporating it into their science programs, their math programs, with the Green Schools Alliance, which is a nationwide group in support of sustainability in schools. New York City DOE was the first public school system to join the Green Schools Alliance. And when you join GSA, one of the things that it says is, it says two things. Number one, you have to make a commitment to reduce your carbon footprint. It doesn't say by how much or by when, and you have to benchmark your energy data. Since we had benchmarked our energy data, we did that. We met that requirement, and number two, we made the commitment to reduce our carbon footprint. Took that information, and one of the GSA's big programs is the Green Cup Challenge, where during the month of, starts in mid-January and goes into mid-February, schools sign up, and we actually take kids into the boiler room with the custodian, read their electric meter, take readings over the course of the month. They work with their teachers to figure out projects that they can do in the school to reduce their energy consumption. And they compete against each other, and in the end, they can see who wins. But as we like to say, with something like that, everybody wins. It was a daunting task. The organization is so big, and you're dealing with other big organizations, and to get the momentum that you need to make changes is very difficult to start. I found that the biggest thing that I did was creating that committee, that sustainability committee, because it put everybody in the same room, so that you couldn't talk to the custodian and he couldn't point his finger and say, well, sanitation's not picking up the recycling when they say they're supposed to, and sanitation couldn't say the custodian doesn't put the recycling out at the curb when they say they're supposed to. We had everybody in the same room. We could have these conversations. We created a feedback forum so that whichever side had an issue, they knew who to bring it to, and we followed up on those things, and there's much better communication. People feel like they have a voice in the process. They're much more invested in it, and to get to big organizations to move in the right direction has been pretty fulfilling.